Ever seen one of those videos where like a musician just completely loses it on stage? Like full-on meltdown?
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm talking instruments smashed, the whole bit.
Totally, like that jazz drummer who trashed his kit.
Exactly. Except imagine that energy. But it's Perry Farrell, the frontman of Jane's Addiction.
Whoa, okay, now that's a different level of intensity. Speaking of intense, have you seen the stuff about him from that Boston show?
Dude, the Variety article on that is wild.
It's insane, right?
It sounds like Farrell just completely unravels mid-performance, like starts yelling, then actually physically goes after Dave Navarro, their guitarist.
Yeah, I read that security had to get involved and everything.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a little disagreement here. This wasn't just like a missed cue or something.
Right, this was major.
This was serious enough that they pulled the plug on the entire tour.
Which is huge. Bands almost never do that.
I know, right? And then Farrell puts out a public apology on top of it all, which,
No.
let's be honest, for a guy who's built a career on pushing boundaries, that's saying something.
Totally. It's like this really strange peek behind the curtain.
Right. Like, what's going on? Luckily, it's not just the news we have to go on. Etty Lau Farrell, Perry's wife, posted about it on Instagram. And well, it gives you a different perspective, to say the least.
Oh, really? What'd she say?
Okay, so she starts by calling Perry the gentlest of souls.
Interesting.
Which, when you contrast that with the guy described in the news reports, it's jarring.
For sure, for sure.
And then she's got this one part where she talks about just being totally stunned by the whole thing.
Like she's never seen him like that.
Exactly. You can tell she's really trying to process it all, and you really feel for her, like this is someone who knows him better than anyone, and even she's blindsided. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because Etty doesn't just leave it at, oh, he wasn't himself. She starts giving these clues about what Perry was dealing with before the show.
Yeah, like what?
Okay, so she mentions tinnitus.
Oh, man, tinnitus is brutal. For anyone who's lucky enough not to know what that's like, it's like constant ringing in your ears.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's like...
So imagine trying to perform with that, the crowd, the monitors blaring.
And on top of that, his throat was messed up too, she said.
Oh, no, you're kidding. For a singer, I mean...
Right, that's their instrument. It's like a guitarist with a broken hand.
Exactly. And get this. She said he had appointments lined up with an ear, nose, and throat doctor. A&D, a neurologist.
Wow, that's not nothing.
No, that's not just a checkup.
Makes you wonder if all that was weighing on him mentally too,
Absolutely. Not even just the discomfort, but the can I even do this every night?
Right, exactly.
And, obviously we're not doctors here.
Of course. Yeah.
But what's powerful about this is it shows how connected our physical and mental states are.
Totally.
Especially for artists who are constantly pushing their limits.
It's like we're watching this pressure cooker explode, But we only see that last second, the actual moment it blows. We don't know how long that pressure was building, what was happening before it went off.
Right, like what led to that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we're mostly hearing Perry's side, right? What about the rest of the band?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's easy to focus on Perry, but this isn't a solo act, right? Like, what was going on with Dave Navarro that night? Was this a long time coming, something they all knew about? Or did something specific set Perry off?
It's such a good point.
Yeah.
It's like we're seeing one frame from a whole movie. We can guess what happens before or after, but without those missing pieces.
You'll never know the full story.
Right.
And, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's not even about getting all the answers. It's more about the questions these situations make you think about.
That's true. So where do we even go from here then?
I think the big thing is just remembering that even these huge rock stars, these legends, they're still human, They have their limits, things they're insecure about, struggles we might not see from the outside.
And that's something we can all relate to, right? Even if we're not selling out arenas, we've all got our limits. Pushing yourself is one thing, but ignoring the warning signs, acting like you're invincible, that's asking for trouble.
It's so easy to do.
I know. But this is a good reminder for everyone to take a step back, be honest with yourself about what you need, and actually take care of yourself, even if it means, I don't know, taking a break from something you love.
Right. Sometimes the show really can't go on. And that's not a failure. Sometimes it's the best thing you can do for yourself.
It's true. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, but don't worry. We'll be back soon with more deep dives into the stories everyone's talking about.